Sometimes, the most unexpected relief comes not from a trade or a big signing, but from simply letting go. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, that feeling arrived quietly, without drama, without headlines screaming of chaos, yet it carried a strange sense of peace. Because in a season already filled with tension and scrutiny, one small roster move reminded fans that sometimes subtraction feels a lot like addition. But as the dust settles, it's worth asking, was this change just routine, or a subtle turning point for the team's goaltending future? It all began on Saturday afternoon, just hours before Toronto faced off against the rival Boston Bruins. Out of nowhere, the Carolina Hurricanes swooped in and reclaimed goaltender Caden Primo off waivers, a player Toronto had ironically taken from Carolina only weeks earlier. It was almost comical, like returning a borrowed item you never really needed in the first place. Primo's stay in Toronto was brief, and to be fair, not particularly memorable. Yet for the Leafs, this quiet exit actually brought more clarity than chaos. Toronto had picked up Primo to fill a temporary gap, a short-term insurance plan, while the goaltending situation found its footing. With Anthony Stolarz carrying the load, the Leafs needed someone steady enough to stand by in relief, and Primo was that, at least on paper. But in practice, the experiment never really worked. His numbers were rough, his confidence shaky, and fans could sense that the crease felt uneasy every time he stepped in. So when Carolina took Primo back, Toronto barely blinked. Instead, they called up Dennis Hildeby, the 6'7" young giant with something Primo lacked: potential. Sure, his stats don't scream elite, but the organization sees something raw and promising in him. Do you believe Hildeby or Wall can bring real stability to this team's crease? Let me know in the comments what your gut says, because this story might age very differently by December. And if you love getting the real inside look at your Leafs, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification